Hey guys, Chris Kaufmann here with your February update email. I thought I'd do something a little bit different this month and give you some really valuable information, which is market statistics. So, what the Quad City market has been doing over the last, I'm going to compare 2016 to 2017 and then just a little bit of what it's been doing in January so far this year, listings that have come onto the market and so forth. I got to be honest, when I thought of this email, I got into our multiple listing service and spent like probably, I don't know, 3 hours looking at different stats. Active inventory over sold inventory, average cost per square foot, all kinds of numbers that I realized you probably don't care about and would more than likely be a little boring for this video. So I'm just going to include some key stats that you might find interesting. And, if you want some further, something more in depth, I'd be happy to give that to you because, like I said, I kind of like doing that when it comes to real estate. I'm all about the numbers. So if you want something specific to your own neighborhood, just ask. I'd be happy to give it to you. So instead of reading it right off the screen into the video here, I thought I'd show you kind of what I've come up with. So these are numbers that were taken directly from our multiple listing service, basic stats with a sad face, only because I can't give you everything that I was into. Comparing 2016 to 17, and then just to simplify things, I'm only including Scott County. I figured most of you are really most familiar with Scott County. I only sell in Iowa, and so that's why I included that. And then residential single family. So I'm not including any income producing properties or lots and land or commercial, just single or condos for that matter. I'm not including condos because that's almost a whole nother separate market. Just single family homes. So total number of sales for 2016 compared to 17. We only saw 28 more sales than 17. So not a big difference there. Certainly nothing to indicate a trend either way. However, average sales price is a little bit different. So we saw from 16 to 17, we saw almost $8,500 worth of an increase in average sales price. That's a pretty big number, especially when you're talking about the Quad Cities. We don't see a real big shift to either way. We're pretty steady overall. So to see an $8,500 increase from 16 to 17, that's pretty big. That's good. That's great for sellers. And then, of course, median home sales kind of followed suit with the average sales price, which is good. For whatever reason, I just like the median numbers. Just as many homes sold over 165,000 as they did under 165. Average days on the market, DOM, went down a little bit. 43 to 37 days on the market. Now, what I don't like about this is that our multiple listing service does not take into account any previous listings. Okay? And I don't know, maybe there's a fix for that. I don't know if there is going to be one. Unfortunately, well, here's what happens. So let's say I list a home and it's listed for 6 months and it does not sell. It expires, then I relist it, and it sells within the first week of relisting it. Our system is only going to count that first week for days on the market. It's not going to factor in that other 180 days for days on the market. So that's a flaw. So I suspect that if I went into it and really did a lot of extra work, we would see that these numbers are probably a little bit higher than what I'm showing now. Average list to sale price ratio. I love these numbers. Pretty similar, not a big difference. I mean, from 16 to 17, you got 98, just a little over 98% really. The problem with these, and not to fault my own numbers here, I seem to be doing, it takes into account all of Scott County, and it's pretty rare when I'm pricing a home that I use Scott County numbers, okay? narrow that down into what I call micro market. Okay, so your neighborhood. If I go into Eldridge and I say, okay, what are homes selling for in Eldridge priced under 200,000? This number is going to be more like 99.99%. Okay, it's going to be much higher, and that's just because it's a whole different market. It's a whole different micro market. But anyway, that's Scott County. So far, what's happening this year is, well, I'll show you. So in 16, we had 228 homes come onto the market, 202 in 17, and 195 in 18. So I'm seeing a bit of a trend here, unfortunately. And, well, I know for a fact that in 16, we were having inventory issues. We had low inventory in 16, and now we have, 33 fewer homes that came onto the market in January. I think if you look at these numbers, they directly relate to this number here. Because if you're a seller and you're putting it on the market, you don't have much competition, you can tack on a few extra thousand, within reason, obviously. And it appears, based off of this number, as though sellers are getting it. So that's kind of, I don't know, that is very interesting. So we'll see how the rest of the year pans out based off of this number. July, August, June, we normally see over 300 houses hit the market in Scott County. So that's a big difference. That's what I've got for you so far. Those are the numbers in Scott County. I thought those were probably the most pertinent numbers that you would want to hear. Like I said before, I love working numbers and seeing what's what. So if you want something, even if you're not thinking about selling this year, and you just want to know what your value is, let me know. I'd be happy to get your price analysis and anything else that you might like in terms of value. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoy the rest of the month, and I will see you again in March. Take care.